Okay, we're recording. Yay! And now I'm going to share my screen. I hope you guys are pumped. And I hope you guys have questions because I love questions. All right. Oh, you guys can't see that, huh? Now you can? Maybe? Okay. How to post value and up your engagement on Instagram. I'm talking only Instagram.
Wait, we can't see it.
Oh, okay, just kidding. Could you see it before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Now can you see it? Oops, sorry. Sorry. Now can you see it? Okay, good. Perfect. Thank you, Carmen. Okay, how to post value and how to up your engagement on Instagram. So, I'm going to try to make this literally so simple. Number one, find your niche. And this is so important. You have to know who you're talking to, or else you will be talking to no one. And if you guys have been in the business for a minute, you probably have heard this, that if you try to talk to everyone, you're really talking to no one. And it literally could not be more true. It takes a long time to really figure it out for yourself, but if you can just trust and believe, it will be a lot easier in the long run. I couldn't figure out what my niche was for a long time, and it's because I didn't really know how to find it. And I think that my business would have moved faster if I would have. So even if you're brand new and you're like, I don't want to just like target a certain audience because I need to like hit Success Club, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, as we all know, it's about helping other human beings. And the human beings that you can help the most are the people that are like you. And the people that are like you are the people that are in your niche. Okay, so who are you speaking to? The easiest way to figure this out is to figure out who you were before you started Beachbody, before you started your own health and fitness journey, before you found your fulfillment, found your happiness, whatever it was that made you say yes to this opportunity, or whatever it was that made you continue on, and whatever it was that got you a transformation, or wherever you are in your journey, think back to when you started. I don't care what that journey was that you started. I don't care if there was multiple journeys that you started, but figure out what those were. And you have to really hone in to the specific person that you want to help get healthy, get fit, change their life, okay? So an easy way to like think about this is either now, if you still feel like you're finding yourself and everything like that, or before you started Beachbody and before you started to see a transformation, what were you looking at when you were going to Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube? Like when it came to, it can be more than one thing, but try not to come up with too many. But okay, were you always on were you always on YouTube looking for hair videos of like how to do cute braids? Like that was me. I used to always like try to figure out how to do cute braids. Okay, so that's one of the things you can share. Were you always on Instagram looking at Fitspo, looking at girls who would share the workouts that they were doing? That was me too. I would go to Instagram and I had like my two favorite girls, and they would sometimes share their workouts, and they had literally my dream body. And so I would go and I would see what they were doing, duh. So that's who you want to be. You want to be the person that people want to come and see what you're doing because they feel like they get value from you. Especially at the beginning of our business, people are not going to stay if they're not either friends and family or finding value in you. Like if you're going to just keep people on your page for being fun and interesting, like you better be really damn funny or else they're not staying. So I really want you guys to kind of take some time and reflect, and you're going to say, I'm so busy. I don't have time to do that. How am I ever going to have time to sit down and just think? Well, guess what? you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't take that time. Any time that you put towards your business is still time towards your business. And sometimes we have to mix up our activities. Yes, you should be using the activity tracker, but you need to find one of your days where you have an extra 10 minutes and you need to add something. And this time that something is reflecting on you, reflecting on your past, figuring out who that person is. Something else you can do is you can find a partner. Maybe you guys have a Success Club partner. If you don't, talk to your upline. But maybe you have a Success Club partner. Do an interview with each other. Excuse me, sorry. And honestly, if you Googled like interview questions to find your avatar or something like that, I'm sure you can find like a ton of lists. But do an interview with each other, ask each other questions. So, because sometimes it's easier to give an answer when somebody else is asking you rather than if you're just doing it yourself. Because you could be like, oh yeah, I don't really need to write it down. Like, oh yeah, I don't really need to like think about it. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like think about it in my head. But that's not gonna help you. And so if you guys are doing this for each other, it's an interaction. The other person will write it down for you and then they'll send it to you and vice versa. So you guys are really doing each other a favor. Sorry. I'm like getting over a cold, so I need water. I'm going to try not to cough a ton. Okay. Once you know your niche, this is when you can really start figuring out what to post. And there should really be 3 things that you're posting consistently on Instagram: research, testimonials, and lifestyle. And you really need to have a variety of all 3 of them. And 80% of what you are providing should be valuable content, not pictures of your dog, not pictures of your husband, not pictures of you, I don't know, getting your nails done, unless that's part of your brand. But it should be research-based content that provides value to your avatar, to the person in your niche that you are speaking to, some sort of value. And you're going to know what that is once you do kind of the steps that I talked about above. But you really should be giving them information that they could probably find on their own, but are too lazy to. But they're coming to your page and they're watching your story anyways, so give them a reason to stay. 20%, or depending on how many testimonials you have and like how you want to break that into your content, the rest of the 20% should be testimonials and lifestyle. So your testimonials can come from you, and your testimonials can come from your clients and coaches. And guess what? Your testimonials can come from the team. Like, it doesn't have to be somebody that is on your team, or it doesn't have to be one of your clients. We're a team for a reason, and there's a reason that we share things. And so if you see someone's transformation, or if you see someone talking about how they were able to pay for the organic produce for the first time ever, because whatever. If you see somebody saying that, or if you see them posting a transformation, or if we're sharing it in the team page, use it. If it's something that's not shared in the team page, then definitely ask permission first. But there's no reason that we're on a team for a reason. You can use each other because it's really important that people see that you're not alone. However, at the same time, it's just as important that they see that you're doing it. So if you're say you go on to the Team Navigate page and you find every single transformation photo you can. And so you start sharing those and sharing those and sharing those, but you're never sharing your own. Okay, people are going to be like, okay, well, I don't care about those people. I follow you. And if you're not doing it, then I'm not doing it. Or vice versa. If you're only sharing transformations from yourself, they're going to be like, that's great, but does it work for anyone else? Make sense? And then your lifestyle is whatever you want. I'm obsessed with my animals, so part of my lifestyle is that. My boyfriend is a weirdo, so part of my lifestyle is that. You just figure out what pieces of your lifestyle you want to share. And because that's important, and you can't go 100% research, because you might be like, oh my gosh, well, I'm just going to only provide value. Well, you can't do that because people need to see who you are, or else they don't care. It's like the reality show part of your Instagram. Yes, they want to see the value, but they also want to know who you are as a human being so that they can get a feeling if they want to connect with you. Because I don't care how much value you're providing, if they don't feel like you're cool and if they don't feel like they could get a cup of coffee with you, they're probably still not going to want to engage. Sorry. Do you keep a tally of total weight loss from your challenge group or inches lost? No. Okay. I don't, but I just watched that video that you told me to watch from, what's her name? Krista Walsh. Is that right? I don't know. The girl that was on the National Wake Up Call, she said that she does that. I don't do that, but I think it's a great idea. So I think it's something to think about. You have to get creative. I wish that I did that. I would start doing it now. Okay. Sorry, guys. Organize yourself. I am definitely somebody that has trouble with this, so I understand if you're going to come at me with, I'm not organized, I don't know how to be organized, I'm a crazy person. I'm also a crazy person, so I understand. But if we don't have any rhyme or reason to what we're doing, people are going to get confused and they're never going to want to stay. So you need to, what's the word I'm looking for? Not super obviously. There's a word for that. It's a really easy word. My mind is just blanking. But you need to be not super obvious about it and not like super in your face about it, but you need to have a theme for your page. Okay. And so that theme is your niche. Are you seeing why having a niche is so important? That theme is your niche, and people need to know what that is based on the content that you're providing. And everything you talk about, or that 80% that you talk about every single day, should somehow relate back to that. Now, granted, if your niche is teachers who are unfulfilled, unhappy, and underpaid. Hold on, someone's not muted. Unless it's me. Okay, let's say your niche, this is just an example. Let's say your niche is teachers who work too much, so they don't have time to make for themselves. They work too much, so they're tired, they are overwhelmed, and they're unhealthy, and whatever. And they're underpaid. Okay, you're not just only ever going to talk about teachers, right? But with everything that you do talk about, it's going to be very attractive to teachers. Does that make sense? So it's not like you should be like, I'm a teacher, I'm really overworked, and I'm like, I have like high anxiety, and so blah, 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 blah. Like, it doesn't have to be that prescriptive, but everything you do should relate back to something that a teacher that is overworked, underpaid, blah, 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 that they can relate to. Does that make sense? Okay. I suggest putting together a content calendar, and this doesn't have to be super specific, but I do think that it's important. Sorry, hold on. Somebody muted it again. So it doesn't have to be super specific, but it is important that you have an idea of what you're talking about, or else your content's going to be kind of all over the place. So if you can really map out like, okay, this is what I want to talk about today, this is what I want to talk about tomorrow, and you can figure it out like week by week, you can figure it out month by month. For example, say you know which week you wanted to start your next sneak peek, okay? Well, you know that the week before that, you're probably going to talk about coaching, whether it's like, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I get so distracted every single time somebody's not muted. Whether that is like specifically about coaching and how coaching has changed your life, or whether it's a little bit less specific, and you're just kind of talking about the journey, and you're sharing that we're on this team call, and you're sharing how much it's like transformed your life in the small ways and big ways and every way that it has changed your life, that's your theme for that week. And then maybe another week you want to talk about your challenge group, and you're starting a brand new program, and the program has okay, for example, the Fixate, the Portion Fix program that's coming out. Okay, before that launch, you're really going to want to hype it up, but you're not going to specifically talk about it, but you're going to research what it is so that you can start talking about carb cycling. So you can start like bringing that in so that when it's time to launch, you can tell people, oh, by the way, this thing I've been talking about, I have a solution for you. Okay? And that leads me into my next piece is implementing a call to action. So if you are consistently providing value every single day, there's nothing wrong with posting some kind of call to action every single day. That being said, it shouldn't always be like an intense one. Like it's not like you're going to post a help wanted every single day, but you can in your stories, if you have, like today, I talked all about water, and I think at the end of the day, I shared like different things about water while inputting different things. Like I talked about this call and things like that. And then I think at the end of the day, I'm going to say, by the way, I dive a little bit deeper into this kind of thing in my challenge group. If you want to snag a spot, the link's in my bio. That's it. That's my call to action. Does that make sense? Okay. You have to be a product of the product, because people are not going to know that what you're doing is any different than somebody else if you're not sharing it. And they're also not going to want to do something that you're not doing. I don't think I need to explain that. I think we've all heard it a million times. But if somebody comes to you and offers you something and you say, oh, like, do you do it? And they say no, you're going to be like, well, I'm sorry. No, thank you. You know what I mean? And so this is why it's so important that we're keeping up with our workouts, that we're staying consistent, with our meal plans, that we're staying active as coaches, that we have, that we're using some kind of the products. Because if you don't believe in the product, then I don't believe that you can put your heart into this. And so if you're not using the products, then I don't believe that you can put your heart into this. And I do think that they are great products. I do think that something can benefit everyone. Like, okay, if you're vegan, obviously you can't have the post-workout recover. You will be able to soon, but you can't yet. Okay, that's fine. There are plenty of other options for you. Or let's say you are, you're like, okay, Deanna, you can't have gluten. And I think, I don't know this for sure, but let's say the Beach Bars have gluten. I would imagine that they do. So you can't have those. But guess what? You can have Shakeology. You can have the pre-workout. And those are the kinds of things that people need to know. Because I literally was just having a conversation with someone, and I was like, hey, like, blah, 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 you want to join my challenge group? And she was like, oh, I would love to, but I'm actually, I'm a pescatarian, so I can't really follow a meal plan because the only protein I eat is fish. And I was like, girlfriend, I'm a vegetarian. Like, I follow these programs and I don't eat meat at all. I don't even eat fish. And she was like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, that's great. And so to me, that told me, okay, I need to be more open about our products. I need to make it a little bit more clear. Like, okay, yeah, I mean, I do eat dairy. I'm not vegan, but I do tend towards the vegan Shakeology because to me, it's a little bit easier for me to digest. And like little things like that, like, yes, there is a vegan option. Yes, there is a vegetarian option. Like all those little things, we have to keep them in the back of our minds so that people don't think that they're excluded from what we're doing. Make sense? It's also really important that you're not just shoving Beachbody down people's throats. And if you've gotten through even small parts of the training, you probably know by now that it's not really necessary to talk directly about Beachbody itself. And I get that question a lot. Like, well, are you ashamed of it? Like, why don't you talk about it? Why don't you want to post? Why don't you want to put your website link in your bio? And it's because to me, people can get Beachbody from anywhere. They can go on Amazon, they can go on the Beachbody website, and the reason that Beachbody went from infomercials to social marketing is because of challenge groups. Because Carl Deichler or whoever, but for sure him, and I think like Tony, what's his name? The P90X guy, Tony, whatever. I want to say Robbins, but obviously it's not Tony Robbins. But anyways, they came together and they were like, these people are starting to share on Facebook. They're making these communities, they're doing these things, and they're getting like better results than the people that aren't. And they were like, well, if we could have other human beings that are doing these programs be the ones to promote them, then yes, Tony Horton, thank you. Then so many more people will get results. So that's why they did it, because of challenge groups, because people get better results from challenge groups. So it's not about necessarily the program, it's about the support. And it's about helping people not give up. Now, granted, I believe wholeheartedly in the programs. These programs have freaking changed my life. But if I was on my own, I would have quit on myself. Hands down, 100%. And I know that because I've done it a million times before. And there are so many other people like that they just don't understand that it's not just about the workout. It's about the community. It's about not giving up on yourself. It's about the fact that you can do more. That being said, don't only share about Beachbody or about those specific products. Because, okay, whether you say it or not, people are going to catch on to the fact that, yeah, that's like, we're selling Beachbody. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with selling. There can be things wrong with selling, but there's nothing wrong with making an exchange. A sale is an exchange. And so there's nothing wrong with that, but there can be a bad stigma. And that's why you have to share other things too. So share your favorite frozen veggies, share your favorite frozen cauliflower pizza, share your favorite dressings, share the things. I literally shared my nails. I share my nails all the time because I feel like I struck gold with these damn nails. And so share that stuff. Share the stuff that people know that you're not getting paid to promote. Does that make sense? That's how you get people to trust you. Now, granted, don't just like start throwing a bunch of random things at people, because then they're going to be like, whoa, what is she even about? But if you can, make a group of things that have to do with fitness, okay? And say you add Shakeology in there, but you also have your tennis shoes, like your Nikes, and you got like a super cute sports bra that you got for really cheap at TJ Maxx, and like little things like that. But you're also sharing that you're about to do your workouts and you're going to stream it from your home. Like, put all of the pieces together for people. It's like a puzzle, okay? Because your life is not just Beachbody, and people need to know all the value you have for them, because you have more value than just Beachbody. But it's important that they know the Beachbody value too. Okay. That is all I have for you guys. I hope that was helpful. But I want to know if you guys have questions. I love questions. So I will stop sharing. And if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself. You don't understand hashtags? Okay. Well, I am not an expert on hashtags. I will be perfectly honest. But what I do know is that you need to not use the exact same ones every single day, because if you do oh my gosh, I feel like I'm still in a fog from being sick. I've messed up my words so many times. I'm so sorry, you guys. Because Instagram will catch on and they'll stop even like showing your stuff to those hashtags, because they'll be like, you literally must be a robot because you post the exact same thing every single day. That being said, I would cycle through like 2 or 3 different like hashtags, but as long as it's not the same one over and over and over and over, you can have 30 hashtags in a in a post. So between like your actual caption and like if you put them in the hashtag or in the comments, you can only, I know I can't, you can only have a total of 30. And I would recommend having like somewhere between 25 and 30. And if there's something specific to what you're talking about, utilize that. Like today I talked about like transforming your mindset. And so I used a hashtag like I think like clarity or something like that, something that I don't normally use, which is good too to get a little bit different people. And then I would figure out your niche. So you are the teacher that was commenting earlier, right? Yes. Okay. So figure out teacher hashtags. And I recommend using some hashtags that have like millions of posts, some hashtags that have like 100,000, some hashtags that have like in the tens of thousands, and then like maybe one or two that only have like a couple thousand. Because if all of your hashtags are like super common and they're all like 10 million plus, nobody's ever going to see you. That being said, I think it's still important to have a couple, but don't go overboard. So for you would do a couple that have to do with being a teacher, a couple that have to do with fitness, and then as you break down your niche of fitness, something that has to do with that. Like for me, a huge part of what I do and what I talk about is binge eating. So some of my hashtags have to do with that. I have a corporate 9-to-5er. Some of my hashtags have to do with that. And then I have some generic ones like, I don't have like Fitspo because that one's way too big, but I think I have like fitness gal and like little things like that. So I hope that helps. Is that what you're asking? Is that what you don't understand?
Yeah, I just have never really used them before. That's just not something I've done. And I guess I wasn't sure what to use and who it attracts and yeah.
So there are also hashtag generators that if you're like literally so lost, you can go, I don't know, just type in hashtag generator in Google and you can type in like teacher and it'll come up with a bunch of different things and it'll tell you how many shares it has and everything like that. So I would definitely recommend that if you're totally lost.
Okay. And then one more question. When it comes to, you were talking about mostly posting research, you're referring to like meal prepping and things that go along with obviously health and fitness. Is there, I know that in our coach office, we can find things for posting to challenge. Are those also good things to be using post?
No.
Or where do you get? Oh.
Sorry, go ahead. Were you finished?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So no. So the things for the challenge groups are just for the challenge groups. I wouldn't really post those for on your Instagram, but the research that you're doing for your Instagram is based on your niche. So for me, my niche is girls who didn't know that they had a binge eating problem and didn't know that that was even a thing, but knew that they were really unhappy with what they were doing with their life and put on this face that they were healthy and tried to give people advice, but didn't know like anything, even though they thought they did. And so I really zero in on that. Like, okay, what does that person need to see? And so some of that is meal prep. Some of that is workouts. Some of that is like today I said I shared all about water, like how to consume enough water and things like that. And like I have a whole list. But what I would recommend is I would find some podcasts that have to do with health and find some YouTube videos and books and things like that have to do with health and fitness or whatever you really feel like your niche is, and see what they're talking about. See what the experts are saying. See what the people that you look up to that aren't in Beachbody, what are they talking about? What are they helping people with? And that's how you can really zero in. I know that's kind of a broad answer.
No, that clarifies things a little bit because
okay.
it's basically speaking to myself, like what I needed and what I was looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is
Thank
why
you.
every single person on this call is going to talk about something different. And that's the beauty of this. Okay. So I want to say that Gardenia, I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. Did you sent your message privately?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that on purpose? Because I won't
Yeah.
answer you. Okay. I'm not going to answer you now. I'll answer you on the side if that's okay then.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. What else do you guys have? Anyone else have questions? Maybe? No?
I mean, maybe food, because you're like that. I know new people, like new coaches or myself, like I didn't know not to post like ugly food photos, and you're like the girl to tell everyone like don't post that shit. So I didn't know if you wanted to go over like food and like even just Sonia said, don't hashtag Beachbody stuff. Like that was really big, and I feel like a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just a thought.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I was getting at when I was talking about not throwing up Beachbody on people. And a lot of new coaches will come to us and be like, I'm only finding other Beachbody coaches. I'm only finding other people that are doing exactly what I'm doing. Like, how do I, like, there are no people that need help. And it's like, okay, calm down. Yes, there are. But let's figure out what it is that you're missing. And a lot of times, it's the fact that you are hashtagging things that you don't need to be hashtagging. It's that you are, if you guys know what the 5-3-1 method is, or basically like following people and connecting with them so that they start following you so that they can see the content you're giving. If you are going to other Beachbody coach followers and those are the people you're looking for and those are the people you're following, yeah, of course, a lot of them are going to be Beachbody coaches or they're going to be doing a program. And so definitely do not hashtag anything that has to do with Beachbody. Don't hashtag Shakeology. Don't hashtag like 21 Day Fix. Like don't hashtag any of that unless you have a very specific reason for it. But I can't even think of one. So yeah, be really careful of that, and that will really help because you're going to get so many people coming to your page and they're going to follow you because they're doing the 21 Day Fix and I don't know. But yeah, keep those out of your hashtags. And then as far as food, Deanna is so right. One of my biggest pet peeves is going on Instagram and seeing ugly food. Like if your food does not look good, do not post it. Do not post it. I would rather you not post your food at all than post ugly food. Take a picture, look at it, and say, okay, would I eat this? Would I want to reach out to this person and ask them for the recipe if I saw this? If the answer is no, then don't post it. If the answer is yes, then okay, that's fine. Go ahead and post it. What I will say, though, is I believe that food is extremely important. And maybe that's because it's part of my niche and it's part of my story. But to me, if I'm going to someone's page for inspiration on health and fitness, I want to see what they're eating. So take the extra time, make your food a little bit more beautiful, and then post it. It doesn't have to be every meal. It doesn't have to be every day, but it should be at least a couple times a week that you're taking at least one meal that day and you're making it beautiful. You're making it presentable. You're making it look tasty. Same with your shakes. Like I love posting chocolate shakes because people love chocolate shakes, but it's hard. And I definitely, if you're posting your chocolate Shake-O, be mindful of it because sometimes it looks not that good because it's brown. I mean, nobody wants to eat anything that's brown, like that's just one of those things. And it's a mental thing. And even though it tastes freaking delicious, and even though maybe it tastes like it's a peanut butter cup, like people don't know that. So if I'm ever doing something like that, I'll usually put it in a glass. So I won't, because I blend mine. And so sometimes I'll just take a picture of my blender bottle. Sometimes I'll take a picture of my shaker. But with chocolate, I never do. I put it in a glass, and I put some kind of cute straw in it, and I make sure that my background isn't ugly. And then I talk about how it tastes like a chocolate shake or like whatever. And sometimes I will make it into like a smoothie bowl, which if you have chocolate Shaco, I recommend doing this. Throw up like a half a frozen banana and a little bit of PB Fit and some ice, and then top it with a little bit of granola and a little bit of peanut butter and maybe a couple chocolate chips, and it tastes like heaven. You could post something like that. But be very, very mindful. Oatmeal. It's really hard to make oatmeal look pretty. It's possible, but it's hard. So be careful. That one day that you're eating it that week, take the extra 5 minutes and make it look beautiful. Sorry, I could go on a tangent on this, so I apologize. But yeah, and that really, I mean, yes, that goes for food, but that goes with everything. Like, you don't have to be perfectly put together all the time, but it's also important that you present yourself like a professional, that you present yourself like someone that has more to offer than the person that is watching you. Because they need to feel that way. If they don't feel like that you have any more to offer than they do, then they're not going to want to reach out to you, because they're like, well, I could find somebody else. I can find somebody that has more value. I can find somebody that is living the life I really want to live. And if you look like a hot mess all the time, they're not going to necessarily want to be that. And I'm not saying don't be true to yourself, because you really do have to be true to yourself. And I truly believe that that's one of the most important things to being successful in this business. But I also believe that the people that are coming to our page and staying on our page are staying because we are influencers. We are saying that we are influencers. And so we have to be that step above. And that's just an expectation of this business if you want to grow your business. Okay.
I have another question if you have a second.
Yeah.
That just triggered it. So pictures, taking pictures. Obviously you want to take a picture that looks good, and you want like the right lighting and whatever. What tips or suggestions do you have for lighting? Because like, for example, like my house gets horrible lighting, as you can see in my video right now. And I work out at 5 a.m. so the sun's not up, and it's just, I have crappy lighting. What do you suggest?
I suggest doing a photo shoot. And I'm not talking a professional photo shoot. I'm talking like one Saturday when you have 2 hours that you can spend. Okay. Go take some pictures. Or anytime you're dressed up, anytime you're outside. Like, I would say that 99% of my photos happen during the daylight, and I would say 97% of my photos are outside, just because that's what I have. I don't have any parts of my house right now that I'm like, ooh, I want to like pose by this, or like, you know, like I don't have that yet. And so I don't do that. And so you kind of have to work with what you have. And every single freaking time I get dressed up, which is not very often, it's like twice a month maybe, I take a couple pictures. And if I have a jacket, I'll take a picture with the jacket on and a picture with the jacket off. And then it looks like two different outfits. Or like, I was at the beach this past weekend, and I had, I was wearing a pair of leggings, and I had a pink like tank top, but I put like a black tank top just like in my bag with this, and I was wearing a sports bra. It's not, I'm in California, it's not like hot beach. And I had a jacket, and I literally have 3 different outfits with 3 different, for 3 different posts that took like 5 minutes, because I just like changed my shirt real quick, or I like put the jacket on, and like, so you have to start getting creative, and that gets easier. Okay. I promise it gets easier. But don't be afraid to use a picture from 2 months ago. I mean, I do that all the time. The picture I posted today, I didn't take it today. And that's kind of an expectation. I think people know that, and that's okay.
Okay.
I don't think these are questions, right?
One asked just what's the purpose of a ring light and how does it work? That was the only other question I seen, because I answered Brooks where she asked where to get a ring light.
Okay. So it's basically, the purpose of it is to provide outdoor quality light. So like, for example, I'm going to say every single one of us, yeah, I can look around on this camera, including me, every single one of us should not take a picture right now. Like, our lighting is not good enough to take a picture and post it on our feed. Take a picture and post it on your story, yes, that's fine. But take a picture and post it on your feed, no. So what a ring light would do is basically, it's more of like a white light, and it's more of like a natural sunlight light. And so it brightens your eyes, it brightens your face, and it brightens like have you ever gone into a hotel bathroom that has the light all around the mirror and you're like, hot damn, like, why don't I look like this all the time? That's basically what a ring light is. I hope that answers your question. All right, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I will post the recording hopefully tonight. Sometimes it takes a long time to like load and everything, but. All right, you guys. Thank you all for hopping on. It was great to see all of your faces. Wait. Oh my gosh, you guys, we have to take a picture. We have to get a picture for the gram. Isn't that what this is all about? Okay. You can get your phones or steal it from mine. Ready? Smile. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for hopping on. Have a good night.